Okay, so we are now on lesson 45, and we are talking about something that hopefully most of you have heard about or done before. We're talking about finding the range, the median, the mean, and the mode of a set of numbers. So let me give you an example that we can walk through. It'll just make more sense when we walk through this example. You've probably, like I said, done it lots of times in the past, okay? So let's jump to page 182. This is example 45.2. It says the scores on the tests were 86, 93, 60, 66, 95, 83, 85, and 78. Find the range, median, mode, and mean of the test scores. Okay, so it first tells us to put them in order, so I'm going to do that. We've got 60, we've got 66, 78, 83, 85, 86, and 93 and 95. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there should be 8 of them. Okay, so the first thing they're going to ask for is the range. Okay, the range is the difference between your biggest number and your smallest number. Okay, so difference is subtraction. So the range would be, where do I want to put that? Okay, so range is 95 minus 60, which would be 35. So the range is 35. Okay, then we're looking at, let's go with the median next. We're looking for the number that's in the middle. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got an 83 and you've got an 85. So you have an even number of numbers. Okay, so if you were to have, let's say, 84, another test score of 84, then 84 would be your median because it's, when you put them in order numerically, it's the one that's smack dab in the middle. Okay, but there's not one here, so you have to actually add 83 plus 85 and then divide it by 2. So it might have been 80 and 85, and then you would still have to add them together and divide by 2. It could have been 81 and 86, and you would add them together and divide by 2. But doesn't matter. 83 plus 85 is 168. 168 divided by 2 is, guess what? 84. So our median is 84. Let's go to mode next, because that one's an easier one to find. Say the mode is the number that appears the most often or repeats itself, okay? So if you notice, none of these numbers repeat themselves. So there is no mode. If, however, I would have had a 60, 66, and then this was 66, and all the other numbers were the same, then 66 would be our mode. Okay, it's whichever one has the most numbers that repeat. Sometimes you could maybe have 2 modes if you had like a 66, 66 here, and then 86 and 86 there, okay? But for this group of numbers, there is no mode. Now, to find the mean, you have to add all of these test scores together. So 60 plus 66, 78, 83, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you see that very clearly on the bottom of the page there, part D. They are adding 60, 66, 78, 83, 85, 86, 93, and 95, and they're going to get 646. Okay, they're going to add them all together. They're going to get 646, and they're going to say, oh, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 test scores. So we're going to take our total amount that people received from the tests, divide it by the number of tests that were taken, and we're going to get a mean or an average of a score of 80.75. Okay, so you can see here our answers to these questions. This, like I said, I'm sure you've done it before. It's the same kind of process, the same thing that you've done many times before. Let's walk through one more question that you might see in your homework today. This is question C on page 183. They also walk through an example above at the top of the page. Example 45.3 walks you through one of these kind of questions. So what they're going to give you is they're going to give you the mean. They're going to say, hey, the mean is, in this example, 8. There are 4 numbers, and 3 of the numbers are 2, 4, and 7. What's that 4th number? Okay, so think about how you calculate the mean. So when you calculate the mean, the top number that you're trying to find, or the first thing that you're trying to find, is all of the numbers added together. So you're going to add 2 plus 4 plus 7. Those are the first 3 numbers. And then we've got to add this missing number that we don't know what it is yet. Okay? And then you're going to say, okay, well, we're going to take all of that and we're going to divide it by the 4 numbers that we have, and we're going to get 8. So this is how we're going to solve for this equation. So let's simplify this a little bit. 2 plus 4 plus 7 is 13. 13 plus x all over 4 equals 8. All right, are you with me so far? We want to move this guy over here to get him out of the denominator. So then we got 13 plus x equals 32. Okay. And now we want to subtract our 13 to get it off of this side here. We're going to have x equaling 19. So this 4th number, if we put 19 in right there, you should get 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 19. Divide that by 4, and you should get 8 as your answer. So this is how you have to set it up, okay? So add the numbers that you know how to add. Put your variable in, divide by the number of numbers that you've been given, put your mean that they're providing for you over here, and then you just solve it like any of the other equations that we've been solving for, okay?